Hey guys, it's Heather from Tomatoes, Puppies, and Everything Gardening. I am finally feeling well enough after being sick for a couple weeks to get back at it, get back to gardening. I've really missed it and we are so behind. So today we are going to start some onions. Should have probably done this a couple weeks ago, and that's okay. We'll catch back up. Also, there are a few other things you guys may want to go ahead and start if you have not already, which would be like artichokes, strawberries. I'm not going to start either of those this year. I have the past 3 or 4 years, and I'm taking a break from those because I have plenty. Some of your perennial herbs, that would be something to start. And also, there's something else, some flowers, some select flowers you would want to go ahead and start now. Is that everything? Well, for this video, we're going to start some onions. If I think of anything else as we're working, I'll let you know. I think that's about it, though. About 8 to 10 weeks before you want to plant these outside, your onions, you should go ahead and start them. And you would most likely start them indoors, depending on your growing zone. And that's kind of what we're going to be doing, except I am going to be keeping mine outside. This is how I've been doing it for a few years, and it works fine. If it gets super cold, like below, let's say 25, I'll just pop them in the garage that night. We're getting to the point now where we're going to start warming up at night, and I won't have to worry too much. And the sun that my seeds are going to get from being outside is going to be so much stronger than any grow light that I could attempt to give it here in the house with any artificial light. So let's see what we have to work with. Definitely want to start like some scallions. But right now I'm just looking for some bigger onions. Probably will go with these Walla Walla. And I think I grew those. Some of these are empty. I just kind of kept the packages so I know what I had grown in the past. So I'll probably do one sweet onion or white onion and one red onion. It's probably what I'm going to end up doing. And it looks like that's all we have to work with, because this is empty. That is all we have to work with. We have 2 packets. So we'll do the red onion, we'll do the yellow sweet onion, and then what I'm going to do for a container is I'm just using something out of my recycling. This was a tub that held some barbecue meat, and we cooked this during the holidays. And I thought, my goodness, that is like the most perfect pan to start some onions in. So all I'm going to do is take my knife. I'm not going to film this because I'll probably cut myself if I try to. And just put a lot of slits down in there so we have good drainage. And then I'm going to fill this up, probably 70% full, with some good potting mix. Make sure it's nice and moist, but not overly damp. You do want the water to drain, so you want a lot of these little slits. And then I'm just going to pop some saran wrap over top and leave it on there until they start to germinate. Then as soon as they start to germinate, I'm going to take that saran wrap off. Just going to leave them outside in the sun. And if it gets super cold, like I said, I'll bring them in that night, put them in the garage, take them back out in the morning when it starts to warm up. And we should have plenty of onions. And I'll put some pictures up here. And we can talk some more about onions. It is many days, if not a week later, and I am now, I think it's February the 8th, going to belatedly start my onion seeds. And I'm having a hard time finding my favorite soil that I start seeds with. Honestly, I would normally just use potting mix to start onion seeds, as long as it was nice and fluffy. So I ordered this Back to the Roots organic 3-in-1 seed starting mix to try. I've never tried this. And I'm telling you, it does not look like seed starting mix. It looks more like a fine mulch that I would use to top my planters. But I'm going to go ahead. We're going to fill this up. We're going to moisten it. And then we're going to divide the tray, because I'm actually going to put both the red and the yellow onions into this one tray because it's really big. Please ignore the dirty dishes. But you can see it almost looks like mud. It's a little bit hydrophobic. It feels like I'm playing in mud. It is a little bit hydrophobic. So I'm going to give it a little bit more water. Not happy with this soil. Okay, so we're going to put the Walla Walla long day onions on the left, the red Creole onions on the right, and these are a short day. These are for the south, and I can actually grow kind of either, but I'm more of the intermediate area for onions. But we're gonna give the long day a shot. I'm pretty sure I've grown some before, and yeah, so we're anxious to get started. You can see I got kind of some recycling out of the trash or the recycling bin, and I cut it so we can have a nice divider, and I put 2 name tags so that we don't get confused. But even if I get a few seeds on the wrong side, it's okay, because these are going to grow with a little bit of a red tint at the base and the other won't, so I'll be able to tell them apart. The only thing I'm really worried about is this soil. This could be a big mistake, but we'll see. We'll go with it and see what happens. Red onions, and I'm going to use the whole pack because these guys are going to be very tightly just kind of growing together. I'll find some pictures from onions I've grown in this method before and stick them right here. You can see they are really tight together, and they do fine like that. You can separate them so easily when it's time to transplant them into the garden. Okay, so there we go. We got that side done. And the same method over on this side. Because the soil is so thick and dense, you know, normally you want to put these about 1/4 to 1/2 inch deep. I'm probably going to err on the very short side of a 1/4 inch. I'm going to get a little bit more of that soil after I sprinkle these on, and we're just going to barely cover them because it is just so dense. Look at that. It's kind of not appealing at all. Planted now. I still need to put that little bit of soil, if you want to call it that, on top, wet it again. Then I'm going to put saran wrap over top of this and stick it outside. And it's going to stay outside unless we get down below, say, 25. Onions are very, very frost protective, or they can grow well. You know, gosh, I can't even talk today. I'm so sorry. They tolerate the cold extremely well, is what I'm trying to say. And I do apologize, guys. I have just been out of it the last few weeks with being sick, with COVID, and then I kind of got a little bit better from the virus, but then I started kind of getting sick again, and I was just kind of trying to see, can I get better? Can I get better on my own? And then finally I broke down a few days ago, went to the doctor. I had bilateral ear infection and a sinus infection. So 3 infections, 3 different areas I'm trying to fight, and just really tired. I have been so tired for the last 2-3 weeks. I guess it's been 3 weeks now. Close to 3 weeks. Yeah, it's about 2.5, almost 3 weeks. Anyways, let's get the soil on here, get the saran wrap. We're going to take these outside. Just a little bit of that soil, or whatever you want to call it, on top. Look at this big chunk. Look at that. I'm going to wet this, and we're going to get that saran wrap. We're going to take this out into the sunshine, because the onions, the bulbing action occurs based on daylight, the hours. So you need to look that up for your specific growing zone, what type of onion you should grow. It's going to be different depending on where you live in the United States. It's very easy to Google and look that up, because you don't want to get, well, you could do like me and just buy whatever you want to buy and just try it and see what happens. But supposedly you can do better if you buy the proper onion seed for your area. We're ready to go outside. Now this soil, goodness, it looks like it may not drain well. I'm kind of worried about that. So if that is the case, I'm going to keep an eye on it for a day or two. I will put bigger holes in the bottom of this container, because you want it to drain. You want it to be moist, but you don't want it to be saturated and damp. I can already tell it's going to be an issue. So maybe I'll go ahead and put a few more slits with a knife at the bottom of this, and then we will take it outside. And here we are outside with my other little items that if it gets below 25, 28, I'll pop them in the garage for that night. My camellias and my rosemary babies. And hopefully in about 6 to 8 weeks, or maybe less, who knows, we will put these guys into the garden. I'm thinking maybe March-ish. We will see how they do. Fingers crossed with that soil, guys.